Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. I am Sharon Green Middleton, Vice President of the City Council, representative for the 6th Council District, and chairperson of the Economic and Community Development Committee. This afternoon, we will hear the following bills. Bill number 23-0350, rezoning 420 North Haven Street, and bill number 23-0467, repeal of ordinance 10-397, 25th Street Station Planned Unit Development. In attendance today, we have John Bullock of the 9th District, member of the committee. We have Ryan Dorsey of the 3rd District, member of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have Antonio Glover of the 13th District, member of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And we have Robert Stokes of the 12th District, member of the committee, and we have a quorum. Also today, we have Tyler Chanella representing government relations for the office of the mayor. So let's begin with bill number 23-0350, rezoning 420 North Haven Street for the purpose of changing the zoning for the property known as 420 North Haven Street, block 6265A, lot 011, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, from the I-2 zoning district to the C3 zoning district. This bill was introduced on February 6, 2023. This bill was sponsored by Councilmember McCray. And what we'll do is start with agency reports, and we'll start with the City Solicitor's Office.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Hillary Ruley on behalf of the City Solicitor's Office. We stand by our report that this would be the appropriate mechanism to review facts and make whatever factual findings and legal findings you want to make. And assuming you do that, we approve it for form and legal sufficiency.
Thank you, Hillary. Next, the BMZA.
Madam Chair, Tyler Chanella, Mayor's Office. In keeping with this tradition, the BMZA defers its recommendation on this to Planning Commission.
Thank you. Housing and Community Development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jason Wright, representing DHCD. We respectfully stand behind our favorable bill report.
Thank you. Baltimore Development Corporation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Micah Fetz, representing the Baltimore Development Corporation. We stand by our report. The report is favorable.
Thank you. Transportation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Luciano Diaz with DOT. We have no objection to the bill.
Thank you. Parking Authority.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Arco Sen from the Parking Authority, and we do not oppose the passage of the bill.
And then the Planning Commission.
Yes, good afternoon. Antoine Heath with the Planning Commission. We are recommending approval with the application.
Thank you. Do committee members have any comments or questions on this bill? Seeing none, we will begin with in-person testimony. If you are online and wish to testify, please use the raise hand button and we will unmute you right after we check with in-person testimony. And there is no in-person testimony, and we are now checking online. Again, use the raise hand button if you wish to testify. And we see no raised hands. Is there a motion to move this bill favorably? So moved by Glover and second by Stokes. Chair Middleton is a yes. Bullock? Yes. Yes. Conway absent. Dorsey?
Yes.
Is a yes. Glover? Is a yes. Ramos absent. Stokes? Is a yes. This bill will move to second reader at the next council meeting. Next, the committee will hear bill number 23-04 2467, repeal of ordinance 10397, 25th Street Station Planned Unit Development for the purpose of repealing ordinance 10-397, which designated certain properties as business and industrial planned unit development known as 25th Street Station, and providing for a special effective date. This bill was introduced on December 2023. This bill is sponsored by Councilmember Stokes. Comments from Councilmember Stokes?
This particular building has some not great history to it, so I'm glad to see some positive things coming out of this. And there's a lot of community support on this particular development, and I also support it also. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions to Councilman Stokes from the committee? Hearing, Councilman Dorsey.
I'm just really curious, for the sponsor, where is this, or what is the building? What's the history on this building?
So we can have the plan, I'll
Yes.
go ahead and let the planning commission answer that.
Yes, so it's not a particular building, but an area just north of 14th Street, and Howard Street cuts through it. The area is essentially a part of Remington as well as Charles Village. And there was plan unit development approved for it back in 2010 under the previous zoning. But since the zoning is now changed, and the reason that PUD was approved was to provide some flexibility for mixed-use development. But now under the new zoning and the new zone that covers the property, it's no longer necessary. That flexibility is already provided through the new zones. And the development since 2010 went through some legal issues, and development never occurred. So we're recommending that the PUD be removed.
Any other questions, council member, to the planning?
I was just curious about the name 25th Street Station. What does it indicate?
So I believe that was the name of the project when the PUD was approved, assigned to it by the developer at the time. But,
Cool. Maybe Caroline will tell us more when she comes up. Thanks.
Any other questions at this point? And do you have anything else to say for planning?
no, ma'am.
And I can move on with the other agencies. City Solicitor's Office.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hillary Rulli, on behalf of the Law Department, we would approve the bill for form and legal sufficiency. A repeal of a PUD has pretty much no legal barriers to it. So, again, I'm going to approve the bill for form and legal sufficiency.
Thank you, Hillary. Baltimore Development Corporation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Micah Fetz for the Baltimore Development Corporation. We stand by our report, and the report is favorable.
Thank you. And what is your connection with this project? I mean, can you just kind of explain what you're going to, how your office is working with this project?
Madam Chair, I do not know.
Pardon?
I do not know. I can find out.
Okay. Please, give us some more information if you can, and we'll just add it to the file.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
Parking Authority.
Nicole Caesar, Parking Authority. We stand behind our favorable bill report.
Thank you. Transportation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Luciano Diaz with DOT. We have no objection to the bill.
Thank you. Housing.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jason Wright, representing DHCD. We respectfully stand behind our favorable bill report.
Public Works.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Alejandra Ivanovich representing the Department of Public Works. We stand by our bill report and have no objection to the passage of this bill.
Thank you. Fire Department.
Just good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Chief Ames from the Office of the Fire Marshal. The Fire Department doesn't have any opposition to this bill.
Thank you. And the BMZA.
Madam Chair, Tyler Schnell, Mayor's Office, BMCA defers to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee to any of the agencies? And hearing none, we'll check to see if we have any public testimony, and I think we just have one. Caroline Hecker.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg, on behalf of the applicant. I'm joined by Matt Pinto, who's a representative of the applicant development team. Just to clarify a couple of things, because I know there's some people here who may not have been around at the time this was originally adopted, the original PUD. The 25th Street Station project was a fairly controversial project at its inception that included a Walmart. It was anchored by a Walmart, big mixed-use project. And after years of legal battles, the prior owner of the property ended up selling out and moving on because it had gotten tied up in litigation for many, many years. The new ownership team is proposing to develop it based on the underlying zoning consistent with other developments in the area. So to respond to the question to BDC, I don't know that we've actually been working directly with BDC. I don't know that there's really a lot for BDC to know about what's going on because it really is all being redeveloped based on the underlying zoning. The community was not terribly supportive of the original PUD. Everybody was pretty happy to see it go. And you know, we are planning to just move forward based on the underlying zoning. So I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions from committee members? Councilman Stokes.
Real quick, T-Ball has been meeting with a whole bunch of communities, I guess, the last 2 years and being transparent about what his ideas were. Not particularly his ideas, but getting feedback from the community. So if they had to change anything, they did it. So this is a long drawn out development that got to this point in City Council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When these bills to repeal a PUD come to us, we don't see like all the details of the PUD that we're repealing. I'm just really curious, like what's in the PUD that conflicts with the underlying zoning that such that you can't do what you want to do without repealing it?
It's not really that it conflicts with the underlying zoning, but under the new code, if you're not going to build exactly what was approved by the PUD, you would have to do a major amendment. And so we would either have to go through a major amendment to basically redevelop it pursuant to the underlying zoning, or we could just get rid of it and then deal with the underlying zoning. So it is actually pretty consistent with what the underlying zoning now allows, because it created the ability to do this kind of mixed use project that wouldn't have been possible under the old code. Under the new code, we allow more mixed use type developments by right.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? So thank you, Caroline. And we're checking for if there's any online testimony, and we do not see any raised hands. So is there a motion to move this bill favorable? So moved by Stokes.
Second.
Second by Dorsey. Chair Middleton is a yes. Bullock? Yes. Yes. Conway absent. Dorsey?
Yes.
Is a yes. Glover? Yes. Is a yes. Ramos absent. Stokes? Yes, and this bill will move to second reader. And finally, you know, as council members, we do so much in our districts, and our time is very precious. And a lot of times our family members don't know what we do when we come to City Hall, and a lot of the committees that we sit on and things that we try to move forward to help move things in our district. And I just want to, we do have some family members here of one of our committee representatives, and Councilperson Dorsey has brought some of his family members here. Would you like to just stand and say hi? Thank you. All stand.
Thank you, Madam Vice President.
You're welcome. And Councilman Dorsey, if you want to say who you have brought with, what family members have you brought with you today?
Sure. From left to right, my cousin Nicholas and his daughter Noelle, my niece Rowan, my sister Ellen, my niece Avery, and my dear wife Erin Fostel, who many of you have maybe met in the past. And very happy to have them all visiting. Nicholas, where do you live?
We live in Spain right now.
living in Spain.
Oh, okay.
And is in town visiting family. My sister lives in Crofton, and so they're here
Okay.
visiting for the day. And they were at Port Discovery and walked over here, and I'm going to show them around the building a little bit more. And
So you had a tour of City Hall?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, Councilman Dorsey is the strongest advocate on our transportation issues particularly. So he helps to make sure that we move those types of things throughout our city. And we're happy to have him here pushing those initiatives. So on that note, the hearing is adjourned.
I just saw you when I